Welcome to this new Flight Simulator update movie. In this movie, we're gonna look at Flight Simulator 2024, at least what's already been known. Because last week, or last weekend you should actually say, there was some news about Flight Simulator 2024, and especially, I think, a lot what we already were expecting, or were hoping for maybe, that's a better word, the release date. So, Flight Simulator 2024 will be released on the 19th of November 2024, and it will be available also on the Game Pass from the Xbox. So if you own a Game Pass, then you already have it. There's not a lot known about the different versions which are there, right? So currently you've got the normal version, and then you've got the deluxe version and the premium version. To be honest, I do expect that will be the case, that they will release multiple versions. But I would say that's unclear for now. The other thing we know is that they shared a lot of screenshots. And here you can see, for example, the Red Bull Air Race, right, which is really cool to see. And that's just one of them, because there's also another picture. And there you can see that the scenery looks really cool, right? So the previous one was an official screenshot, which was available on the Sobo site. And the next one is really, I would say, a screenshot from the video which I took. And that looks really magnificent. Now, the other thing which is really cool is that you can see that they added airliners next level. And those airliners next level really is, I'd say, surprising me, but also a lot of other people, because you can see that they included liveries from real world airliners within the sim itself. Normally, what you would see is that you would buy a third-party aircraft, or you would buy a third-party livery pack, which will then make it more realistic, but it looks like that they are now by default in Flight Simulator itself. Which also brings up the Dutch pride, right? KLM also included in this livery or in this video. And a lot of details, as you can see. The details of the, I would say, the wheel structure, the pneumatic systems, but also the covers on the engines. That's something which is, I would say, probably they looked at the third-party developers and thought, okay, hey, why didn't we include it ourselves in the default installation? That's now being added. As you can see, also the cockpit looks really cool, so some updates. And the other thing is that you've now got walking passengers within, for example, the jetways. This one is a still image, right? But if you look at the video from Asobo themselves, you can really see that the people are walking to the aircraft, which is really, really nice. So then, based on that, there came another question, right? Okay, hey, what kind of support can we expect Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 players to see for Flight Simulator 2024? Because that's something which you might think, hey, are they completely now stopping their development? Well, that's not, I would say, what they do, right? So they continue to deliver the roadmap, and they've already have some new items put on the roadmap, ranging from aircraft and avionic updates, but also sim updates and the world updates. For the sim update, we know that they won't release a sim update, I would say, in the near future. But for those, I would say, content updates, they will still provide them. So that's really good. The other thing which also raised as a question is, okay, hey, what if I bought a lot of things via the marketplace, which a lot of people do? Can we still use them in Flight Simulator 2024? And the question is, yes, that's the case. Or the answer to that is yes, you can. Based on the information they provided currently. So you can simply reuse those packages already bought. And then, if we continue the screenshot sceneries before we answer some other questions, you can also see that they, I would say, looked really, I would say, something which is, I would say, I do respect. They looked also at diversity, and you will see it a little bit more in the other videos, right? You see a woman pilot and I would say a man pilot. So that's really cool. I think it's already possible, right, to do that in the current version. But if you look further into the video or on the screenshot, you will also see that they will include, let's say, passengers or pilots from different, I would say, part of the world, which I would say I applaud for. Then the other cool thing is that they will release, I would say, some kind of, I would say, missions or maybe even avionic, I would say, careers, where you can try multiple things. And one of them is the flying doctors, and this is the aircraft, right? And if we go to the next screenshot, you can see that they, I would say, are really helping patients. So that's also what I saw, is that it looks like that there are several missions which you can fly. I think in Flight Simulator 2020 there are some third-party vendors who try to simulate it already, right? That's based on the first trailer for Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024, sorry. But that's really cool. So you can play this, right? You can play, say, Flying Doctor, but if you would go to the next screenshot, you can also say, okay, hey, this is also included, right? So you can also fly with, I would say, a flag behind you. I'm not sure if flag is the correct word. Banner maybe is a better word. That's also really nice, as well as that you can fly nice helicopters. And those nice helicopters can then be used, for example, to, let's say, do a specific mission as a farmer, right? To, prevent that all your, all the stuff you are, trying to produce is eaten up by, for example, insects. But also this one, rescue missions, also really cool to see with helicopters. And if we look at the next screenshot, right, this looks really cool. So you can, say, play a rescue, worker to rescue persons from out the water, from the ocean. A kind of a similar mission has already been released for Flight Simulator 2022. But of course, it's probably not as detailed as this one, as it looks like. Now, with that, right, there might also be a question, okay, hey, which aircrafts will be available? Because we just saw some airliners, we saw some other aircrafts like the Red Bull Air Racers, and you will see some more aircraft types which are in these screenshots, which I will share in a few minutes. That's currently unknown, right? They say, hey, they included several new airliners, and there will be a full list provided, I would say, once it's available. But currently it's not available. So let's see if they provide some more details in the coming weeks/months. As mentioned, those missions are really new and they will, I would say, make it even more interesting. And maybe also they try to target more the Xbox players because they might want to play more missions instead of flying long flights. But that's just a guess. Then continuing with some screenshots, right? So here you can see a nice one, right? Really big aircraft, which also will be included, and here it's in the air. So also these type of aircrafts will be included, and I think even from the earlier videos, right, the first trailer, there was even a bigger aircraft. I think it was the Beluga, right, the Airbus Beluga, which is used for transporting aircraft parts. So that's also pretty nice that they included that. Then also aerial firefighting, right? So you can play firefighter if there's a fire across the woods. That's also pretty nice. Even in a helicopter you can do that. And that also brings us to the next topic, which is the scenery, right? So if you ask the team, or if we've asked the team, okay, what did they work on, right? What's the core improvements to the core simulator? They say, hey, they improved the multi-threading to improve the performance, faster download, load and installation speeds, improved aerodynamics and physics simulations, as well as improved aircraft systems, including electrical, pneumatic, fuel and hydraulics, new failures and wear and tear system. That's also pretty cool because it's now kind of, it's nice, but there is a lot to improve. Deeper and wider avionics systems, as well as the cockpit tablet available by default. So where you now see that you need to wait for third-party developers to develop such a functionality, it will be part of the default Flight Simulator 2024 installation. Then if we look at the scenery, and that's where you see where this is a good example of, right? If you look at the trees and the clouds, so they're improving it. It's the global digital twin in 3 different ways. You've got the static world, which is the improved ground details, the 3D tessellated ground materials, enhanced 3D trees, which greatly increase diversity, and that's also what you see here, right? Multiple trees around there, and the improved cliffs. Then for the living world, they included some new animals, animal herds and migrations, worldwide live ship traffic, which is also pretty cool. So besides the aircrafts, you can also see the ships which are, flying, I would say, but are, crossing the world. Accurate live air traffic with more accurate models as well as liveries, and they improved the vehicle traffic, right? So likely the, let's say, cars driving on the airports, but also likely the cars which are driving on highways, etc. The question I then have is, okay, hey, what will the performance impact be? Because it could be that you, let's say, kind of hit the limits, which brings us to the topic of what about the system requirements? Currently unknown, right? They said, okay, it works on the Xbox, but for those playing on the PC, I would say we need to wait, right? We need to wait till they, let's say, provide more details about that, and hopefully they will do that soon, because yeah, you might need to say put some money aside because you might need to have a new PC. On the other hand, right, if they improve the multi-threading a lot, it could also be that they would say that you can simply have better performance with Flight Simulator 2024 with the same hardware, but that's just all guessing. Besides this, right, the forest fires are mostly caused in the warm weather. So that's also why they implement full seasons, the Aurora Borealis and the Aurora Australis, as well as tornadoes and storms. And I would say that would be really cool if you can do that, right? So that's really nice. So let's look at that in the future. Then we've got also hot air balloons, right? This one flies above Paris. And also that is something which they released recently. Recently, it was already a few months back. So FlightFX, they confirmed the Cirrus SF50 Vision Jet and Jetson 1 Builds, which released already a lot of aircraft for Flight Simulator 2020. They're gonna create the Airbus A400M as well as the Airbus Beluga XL. That's also cool. And on the 5th of June, we announced 3 new partners, right? So Asobo announced 3 new partners. The Coronado, the Cessna 188 AG truck, the Blackbird Ericsson S64 Sky Crane, as well as DC Designs, which will release the Fairchild Republic A10 Thunderbolt number 2. So I do expect that these aircrafts will be available in Flight Simulator 2024. But the question is, will they be included as part of the product, or do you need to buy them separately? And that's just, I would say, something which is not very clear from the release notes or from the information which is already provided. But I would say it looks really promising. So continuing with the images, here you can also see the scenery improvements. In this case, it's Rio de Janeiro. And the last one is it's Dubai, right? If I'm correct. So with a nice, I would say, special aircraft, as you can see. So that's really cool. So to recap, we know it will be available on the 19th of November 2024, both for the PC as well as for the Xbox. It will be available also in the Xbox Cloud, which if you own, I would say, a subscription, you can play it also in the Xbox Cloud at day one already. You can likely remain to use the existing product which you already bought, and the focus will be really on improvement performance, as well as I would say improvements for the scenery / realism. More airliners will be included, and they will add the mission and activities will be heavily expanded compared to how it currently is in Flight Simulator 2020. What's currently unknown? System requirements for the PC version, which aircrafts will be included in Flight Simulator 2024 by default, and let's say probably a lot of more things which you might want to know, which are not available yet. So here ends this video where we looked at some of the screenshots which were released by Asobo, right? Both, let's say, on their website, but also based on YouTube videos which they released. And I think it looks pretty promising. So let's keep our fingers crossed that they will make the date. It's still a long way to go, right? Because we're currently living in June, so we need to wait till November. But hey, then we got some time to maybe put some money aside for a new PC, because I do expect that the system requirements will increase, but that's just a wild guess. Again, here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you got questions or comments, then feel free to put them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.